So Alcatraz was considered one of the most secure prisons in the US, even in the world. It was surrounded by freezing water and strong currents, and was thought to be impossible to escape until 3 prisoners disappeared without a trace. So today we're going inside their cells, retracing every step of their plan, and we're going to see if you can survive the Great Escape, or if you can even survive Alcatraz. Yep, it smells a little bit. Can't run away from that smell. And we made it to Alcatraz Island. We're here. I think we're getting a brief.
Dock, smoke or vape across the dock to your left behind the crane.
Just a little bit windy here, and it's a nice smell of seagull poop. There's one right there. There he is, just chilling. Trying to avoid the wind. Oh, the sun feels nice. Just 1.5 miles off of San Francisco's shoreline sits a rocky little island with an infamous past. Spanish explorers charted the bay in 1775 and nicknamed this spot Isla de los Alcatrazes, Island of the Pelicans. A century later, the West Coast's first lighthouse lit up here in 1854, guiding ships through fog and tide. After that, Alcatraz began as a military fort and prison, and from 1934 to 1963, it became the federal penitentiary America used for the inmates it least wanted to deal with, and the ones who were most likely to escape. Names like Al Capone and Machine Gun Kelly. Its isolation, icy water, and brutal currents made escape nearly impossible, so they thought. Until one night in 1962, 3 prisoners vanished into the night, their bodies never found. But some evidence leads to them actually surviving the escape, and it is still disputed to this day. As Alcatraz primarily existed for keeping prisoners from escaping, in the end, it wasn't this escape that closed Alcatraz, but the cost. The island prison was simply too expensive to run. After the prison shut down, Alcatraz took on a new chapter. Native activists with Indians of all tribes occupied the island from 1969 to 1971, a watershed moment for indigenous rights. Today, Alcatraz is preserved by the National Park Service, and there's only one way of getting here: by ferry. This is Alcatraz, part fortress, part prison, part protest site, and one of San Francisco's most notorious stories. So here we have a layout of the daily routine of the inmates. Wake-up call, 6:30. That's not too early. Let's see what time they go to bed. 9:30. Inmate count, breakfast. They had a lot of inmate counts. Inmate count, inmate count, inmate count. And then here you have the 3 that escaped and were never found. And the question is, did they survive?
So what we have behind me is the old industry building, which was a building that the federal prison inherited from the army prison to do chores like laundry and brushes and some manufacturing of goods like that, because they were having problems with prisoners trying to escape from that one. It was because it was too close to the water. So they built this new building. So this is called the new industry building, and they did pretty much the same chores, just in a new, more secure building.
A fun fact is that this prison actually had warm water for the inmates. It was said to have warm water because if they had cold water, the inmates would get used to the frigid waters around, and they'd be more likely to try to escape. I would imagine if they have cold showers, then it's like, why not try to swim to the coast, you know?
You wouldn't want to escape if you have like hot water, hot food, a bed,
good food,
no rent.
Yeah,
that's all you need.
Apparently the food was good too, because they thought that well-fed inmates were less likely to cause trouble. This was also one of the only prisons with warm water. I think that is true, that they were just trying to prevent people from trying to swim and escape even more. They didn't want them too uncomfortable here, but it was still very uncomfortable for these prisoners. As you walk through Alcatraz today, the first thing you notice is the sheer weight of its construction. Heavy concrete walls, narrow corridors, and iron-barred windows. Every doorway is reinforced, every window layered with bars, making it clear that this place was designed for one purpose only: to hold people in. The prison was divided into blocks, A through D, each with long rows of cells barely large enough to sit, stand, and lie down. And above, steel walkways letting guards keep watch from every angle. Even the recreation yard, with its open sky and view of San Francisco, was surrounded by towering walls and lookout posts. And the numbers tell a story too. At its peak, Alcatraz held around 260 to 270 inmates, but it employed more than 90 guards and staff. That's nearly 1 guard for every 3 prisoners, an unusually high ratio compared to other U.S. prisons of the time, where a single guard might watch over dozens. Every step here reminds you, escape wasn't just discouraged, it was engineered to be impossible. Main prison. This is where they had their communal showers, and with the warm water that was mentioned before, but there was absolutely no privacy anywhere in this prison. You had a toilet in your cell and a sink, and then these showers. Behind me here is called Broadway, and every new inmate walked down this so that everyone could see who was the new inmate in town. And it was pretty much a meet and greet for all the inmates with the new inmate.
We are currently in Block D, where it's all solitary confinement.
If you were in the D block here, you were only allowed out once a week. You would be in here 24 hours a day, and the once a week was to shower, pretty much. So that would be rough. Gosh, it's like a wind tunnel here. This is the yard where they would play outside if you were good. If you were bad, you were in solitary confinement. They would play bridge with dominoes here, and they would be out here playing even if it was freezing outside, one of the prisoners said. But they said it was the most pleasant place to be is out here because you get to see the sun even though it's super windy and cold. But this was the most fun that they had. That they could have. The Alcatraz library wasn't just shelves of books, it was a privilege. Inmates could choose from thousands of titles. Some of the most notorious inmates spent hours here. And when you walk through it today, the shelves look empty. That's because the original books were removed when the prison was closed in 1963. What's left is the shell of a room, a reminder that even on the rock, reading was one of the few freedoms no one could lock away. These cells were considered the good time cells because they had the most sunlight from the library behind me, and they were like the suites of the prison. The 3 prisoners that escaped were Frank Lee Morris and the Anglin brothers. So 3 prisoners at the same time. They used these dummy heads to fool the guards when they walked by. When they found out, it was the guard trying to wake up a guy, one of these guys, and they were like, he's not waking up. So like one of the guards put his hand through here and like moved the pillow, and then the head just fell off, and the guard got so scared. Another like witness said he jumped like 6 feet back, the guard, and then they were like, oh look, there's another one over here, and then another one over here. That's when they found out that the prisoners had escaped. They were never heard from again. People say that there were sightings in Brazil, but we just never know. I mean, the FBI closed the case, but there seems to be evidence appearing that they did end up living. In 1962, Alcatraz witnessed its most daring escape. 3 inmates, Frank Morris and the brothers John and Clarence Anglin, used nothing more than sharpened spoons and homemade tools to chip away at the crumbling concrete around the air vents at the back of their cells. Piece by piece, they widened their openings until they could squeeze through into a hidden utility corridor. By timing their moves between nightly head counts, they managed to climb up the pipes to reach the roof. From there, they slipped down to the shoreline, and using more than 50 stolen rubber raincoats, they stitched together a makeshift raft and life vests. To buy themselves time, each man left behind a fake papier-mâché head in his bunk, complete with painted faces,
and hair made from barbershop clippings. And by the time the guards discovered the ruse, the men were already gone. The official story said they likely drowned in the cold waters of San Francisco Bay, but many believe they made it to freedom. Theories suggest the Anglin brothers fled to Brazil, where family members claimed they had seen them years later, while others think they hid in the US under new identities. Evidence fueling speculation includes a photo sent to the Anglin family in the 1970s, reports of flower deliveries to their mother's funeral, and even a letter received by the FBI in 2013, allegedly from one of the escapees. Despite searches turning up pieces of their makeshift raft and paddles, no bodies were ever found, leaving this escape one of the greatest unsolved mysteries in American prison history. It's very eerie being in this prison, like pretty much alone. We're pretty much alone right now in here. We're taking the last ferry out. Hopefully we make it to the last ferry, but this is crazy that it's empty like this. Let's see if you can hear any ghost noises. Nothingness.
What we have behind me is the warden's mansion, and that was the primary residency of the warden of the Rock, or Alcatraz, and it had 15 rooms. It was legit mansion, and it burned down by a fire in 1970. That's why it looks like that now. And it had a great view of the San Francisco Bay from here. And like in real estate, it's all about location.
Yeah, it had $1 million view for sure.
That is a hell of a view, but then you got all these birds. I don't know if you want those birds on the view.
Yeah, and you have to smell bird poop. It's a great view. It's just a little windy. Woo! We gotta return these. We just gotta find a place. I don't know. I guess we'll walk down this way. We've got about like 20 minutes until the boat leaves.
It's not a big island, so we can make it.
Yeah, they don't have the night tours today, so the last boat is the last boat today.
We have an exit that way. I don't know. I mean, I play a lot of hours on this video game, so I should know. Maybe we can go that way.
Well, you know what? I think they start boarding people probably at 6:30, so maybe we'll have some time. I still have these that I gotta drop off. We gotta drop off.
So we made it back to the yard. I knew it.
Let's go up because we got 0 time. This is a workout. Where do we put these? Down? And then, okay. We were trying to find it. Alrighty. Back down. Yeah, it was cool.
Impressive.
Okay, the only way out is down now. We have 2 players for you. Okay, thank you so much. Oh, that one's. Oh,
sorry.
I thought I.
Take it.
Thank you. Okay, looks like we're gonna make it to the ferry. Well, we made it, guys. We did Alcatraz. Now, the question is, do you think the prisoners escaped? The 3 prisoners.
Oh, they definitely escaped because there were no.
And lived.
Yeah, now that they lived, I think they did. I mean, it's 3 of them. No bodies were found. I'm pretty sure they lived.
You think they went to Brazil?
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know how things were back then, though. So maybe it was easier.
Maybe they had connections.
Yeah.
Like when they went to shore.
Yeah, probably. You know what? They were, I don't know, maybe mailing people, and setting everything. And then they just had to swim, and then a boat picked them up. Who knows? It's all about the details.
Yeah, but
and we don't know those.
But you had to have thought, like, if they were mailing stuff or they were talking to people, visitors, they had to use some sort of code because the guards were watching everything that they did, listening and reading all of the mail that was getting in. So
yeah,
they had to be super smart.
Yeah, maybe they were mailing in, I don't know, Spanish or Italian or some other language that they couldn't read. Who knows? The truth is...
They didn't have Google Translate back then?
Yeah. The truth is that I wouldn't have escaped because I don't want to swim in that cold water.
But you probably wouldn't want to have lived in this prison either.
It didn't seem that bad, honestly. They had hot water, hot food, a room, toilet. What else do you want?
It was freezing in there. So I don't know. If you don't like the cold water, you're definitely not going to like the cold cells. I think you would have been thinking about escaping for sure. But if you had the nice rooms with the sunlight near the library, then maybe not. Maybe it was like, yeah, this might be okay.
Walking through Alcatraz is more than just a tour. It's stepping into a living story. Every wall, every barred window, every empty cell carries echoes of the past. Knowing the history makes the island even more fascinating. From its days as a fortress, to the infamous prison, to the protests that reshaped it. And, of course, the story that still captures everyone's imagination. The escape of 3 men from what was supposed to be an inescapable fortress. With spoons, papier-mâché heads, and a rubber raft, they challenged the impossible and vanished into mystery. That's what makes Alcatraz unforgettable. It's history you can walk through, but also a legend you can't quite solve. So let me ask you this. Would you try to escape Alcatraz? And do you think they made it? Or did the Bay claim them forever?